Now it's time to hear the stories of Utes in their own words. This is Utes Insider presented by Pepsi. Here's your host, Mike Lageschulte.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. Utes Insider brought to you by University of Utah Health, the official healthcare provider for the Utes and you. There's only one you. Be treated that way. Visit uvuhealth.org/Utes. Well, fans, here we are. September is upon us. All of Utah's fall sports are in season, including the women's soccer team under first-year head coach Hideki Nakada. Hideki comes to Utah after spending the last 7 years as an assistant and associate head coach at Stanford. In his 7 years on the farm, Nakada helped guide the Cardinal to national championships in 2017 and 2019. Also 5 straight Pac-12 titles from 2015 until 19. He's also worked as an assistant at Idaho State, Marquette, and Oregon. So Hideki, great background in soccer, especially on the West Coast. Once again this year, Utah Athletics will partner with the Alumni Association to produce a series of virtual fan huddles. They will come out around once a month. And our first one aired on the Alumni Association's YouTube channel on September 1st. As part of that show, I sat down with Hideki to ask about what drew him to Utah, his coaching influences and philosophies, and his goals for the Utah program. My conversation with Hideki Nakada when we come back on Utes Insider.
To hear more episodes of this show and other Utah athletics podcasts, search for them on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Now back to more of Utes Insider presented by Pepsi.
Thank you. We're joined now by first-year soccer head coach Hideki Nakada at Utes Soccer Field. Hideki, thanks for dropping by.
Mike, thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
We'll talk about your team in a bit, but let's start with kind of your background. You spent the last 7 years at Stanford. Before then, assistant coach at Idaho State, Marquette, Oregon. You've been around a bit, and good run at Stanford. A couple national championships, 5 consecutive Pac-12 titles from 15 to 19, but a chance to be a head coach, a chance to go to Utah. What appealed to you about this job?
I mean, what doesn't? You know, I mean, you look at this place.
Yeah.
Utah, to me, is one of the most beautiful places around the world. And then ability and opportunity to compete at the highest level. And certainly women's soccer, Pac-12, is, in my opinion, is the best in the country. So just combining all those things and the level of commitment we have from a department, university, and support we have for women's program. I mean, it was just one of those opportunities I just couldn't pass up.
I mean, you've been in the Pac-12 conference. You've been a West Coast guy for a long time. You knew, kind of word of mouth what this program was about.
Sure.
Did you feel like, hey, this is a place where I can come in and really win and get after it when you took this job?
Yeah, no question. I mean, I think you look at, this program over the years. I mean, we've had some incredible success in the past. I think it's just a matter of, can we stay up there?
Right.
Just finding the level of consistency. The level of talent here locally in Utah is great. Now we have to keep those top talent in state, and also being able to bring in, top talents out of state. And I think with what we have to offer here at the U, there's no question in my mind that we can get there and get those players in order for us to be successful long term.
It's always fun to talk to coaches. When they're assistants, they pick up things from this coach and that coach or these players. They kind of collect things as they move throughout their careers. But specifically for you, Hideki, 7 years at Stanford, what are some things you learned during that time that have helped you early on as you look to build this Utah program?
The talent can take you only so far.
Yeah.
I think this past 7-8 years at Stanford, I've been able to work with some incredible student athletes, ones that are playing and competing at the highest level, but ones that are successful, they're not there because of their talent, because of what they do every day, their work ethic, who they are off the field. So those things are really, really important. And so, again, you look at, any sports, it's not always the best and most talented teams that win. So, I mean, that's something that I probably learned, or certainly one of the most, important things I've learned my time at Stanford.
Coaches come in year one, they've got an idea of what they want to do, and sometimes that plan changes throughout their first couple of years as they get used to personnel and recruiting, and they figure out, okay, here's what I can really do with this program. But as you enter year one, some ideas of where you want to take this program the next 2 or 3 years, and sort of what's your identity going to be as you build up Utah soccer?
Well, I think there's a lot goes into that. I think wherever I've been, my goal personally, at least, and I suppose I can put my, flavor a bit more here now that I get to lead the program here. But I want us to play a style of soccer that our players enjoy playing, and our fans enjoy watching. And then obviously at the end of the day, we have to win. And my players knows this. I like winning, but I absolutely hate losing. So our job is to do everything we can to get a result. Because at the end of the day, if you don't, how you play and the style and all those things don't really matter. So I don't know if I answered the question.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to win. I take that and like that. And, good start. You won your first game here on opening night.
Sure.
Just your impression of this venue, Ute Field. Had some good student turnout, good crowds. First couple of games, just your thoughts on this venue and the fan support.
Incredible. Especially yesterday. And even if you talk about the opening night, the weather probably couldn't be much worse.
Yeah.
Considering how nice it's been. And of course, the opening game, we get the weather. But despite that, the support we had, the turnout we had, and just the mentality that our players had, and it didn't faze them. If it fazed anyone, it was me. So, and yesterday, the place was packed. The Mus showed up in big way. Disappointed we couldn't do more for them. I think they were ready to explode. And we have a lot of plans for the Mus and supporting system. So I want our environment, our game day experience to be one of the best around the country, and I think it's a good start, and we're only going to get better.
Hideki, let's talk about your team this year a little bit. Last year, some injuries with this group, and not the best record, but still, when they got things going, they knocked off USC, Arizona State, tied a ranked Washington State team. We saw some good results from this group, and a lot of talent back. Just kind of break down our 2021 soccer team for us a little bit.
Yeah, no, I think I talked about a talent, a piece of it early on. But one thing that's for sure is we have enough talent to get the job done. I think the piece is what we do with it. So from all the way in the back, from goalkeeping, in defense, in midfield, and front line, I think we have enough qualities. And if anybody watched us play in the past 2 home games, I think people were able to see what we're capable of. Nice thing about this program and this group that we have is that we're more than good enough to be competitive in every match. I don't care who we play. I think it is up to me, up to us staff to prepare our team best we can so that they can get the job done. So, yesterday we didn't, and that's on me, and that's okay. We'll learn from it and we'll get better.
Let's talk about a couple of key players. Michaela Christensen, also Eden Jacobson, have both played a lot of soccer for Utah. They both scored goals on opening night. Also, Taliana Kafusi comes from one of the great names in Utah Athletics history. Those three should figure prominently into your team this year. Just talk about those three for us a little bit.
Yeah, Mike, she's a hard worker. Again, talk about, beyond talent, her work ethic, the energy that she brings to the table is incredible. Sometimes she almost works too hard that I have to tell her to, slow things down a little bit. Eden, I've been really, really impressed with things that she's able to do. I think this past 2 home games, and again, I'm really thankful for her to score the first goal for us on the Thursday night, and I think that did a lot for us for the rest of the night. And she's been sort of running the show for us. Tactically she gets the game, and physically she is as strong as it comes. And just, again, with the way we want to play, how our midfielders play will be the difference between us winning and losing. And, again, despite the result yesterday, I thought we outplayed the match for majority of the match, and she had a lot to do with that. Tali, really excited for her. She is, to me, maybe not there yet, but I'll be really disappointed if she doesn't end up being one of the very best forwards in the country. I think she has a bright future. She may not even know her potential yet, and that's a really exciting thing.
Well, Hideki, great to have you here. We're excited to have you bring a new start to our Utah soccer tradition, and best luck to you coming up in this fall in 2021.
Mike, thank you so much for having me.
For more on Utah athletics, including up-to-date schedules and ticket information, log on to utahutes.com. Now back to more of Utes Insider presented by Pepsi.
And today's show being brought to you by University of Utah Health, the official healthcare provider for the Utes and you. There's only one you. Be treated that way. Visit uvuhealth.org/Utes. And my thanks once again to Hideki Nakada for dropping by the virtual fan huddle last week. I thought you would enjoy that conversation. Big week coming up for him and the Utah program as they take on BYU at Ute Field on Thursday, September 9th. I like what I've seen from Hideki in the program so far. It's going to be a little bit of a different style. They're looking to play more open. It's going to take some time. You know, normally when a new head coach would come in and take over, it would be in the winter before the spring offseason program gets underway. But due to COVID-19, the fall season that normally would have taken place in 2020 took place last spring. So when Rich Manning stepped down, Hideki wasn't hired till the end of May. So he just hasn't had the normal ramp up a new head coach would normally get. But like what he's doing, and all the best to Hideki Nakada and the Utah soccer program this fall. Really enjoyed my conversation with him. That will do it for today's show. Thanks to Mike Gillen on the technical side, and thanks again to Hideki Nakada for joining us on the show. I'm Mike Lageschulte. Until next time, so long, everybody.
This has been Utes Insider presented by Pepsi. To hear more episodes of this show and other Utah athletics podcasts, search for them on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.